we're playing with Paquito and with the guys in Chevere, and I got turned on to a lot of Brazilian music and discovered a form of music that I had not ever heard of before called Choro, which was predates bossa nova in Brazil as an extremely popular form of music, and the main instrument in Choro, believe it or not, was the mandolin. Mm-hmm. Now, mandolin is an instrument you associate with bluegrass in America, but in Brazil, it was the Choro, and the leading mandolin player in Brazil was a Jewish guy named Jacob do Bandolim, which means Jacob of the mandolin, and he was like a national hero. He wrote all these wonderful melodies, and I got turned on to him by my friend Geraldo de Oliveira, who brought me back an album on one of his trips to Brazil. Geraldo is from Belo Horizonte, in Minas Gerais, a little north of Rio, north and east, where Milton Nascimento is from. Many great Brazilian musicians. Toninho Horta is from there. And he brought me back. He said, "Howard, you should hear this Choro stuff." I went, okay. And I just fell in love with it. And I'd like to play you the most famous tune of his. It's called Noites Cariocas, which is karaoke nights. Karaoke is like someone who lives in Rio. So I'm going to play it along with the track that's, I hope I can take these off. Yes, I think I can, and play it to a speaker. Oh, thank you. And of course, later I did get to go to Brazil. I played there 4 times in Rio and São Paulo, various other parts, Campinas, many different cities in Brazil. Um, and I could talk for hours about it. And Brazil is such a wonderful and amazing place with such rich music and amazing culture. It's like sort of a weird, distorted mirror image of America because it has a lot of the same ingredients, but they're all mixed up differently. The main difference being that it was a Catholic country and the Portuguese were the colonists, so they had entirely different attitudes about intermarriage, and everybody is mixed, racially mixed there, everybody. Of course, there's prejudice, but it's different. It's just so different. I could, like I said, I could talk about it for hours, and I was just thrilled to be able to go to Brazil and go into little clubs and bars, and people still sit around and jam around the big tables and play this music all over Brazil. The Choro music came back very strong in the late '70s because people kind of forgot about it, but then they realized what a treasure it was, and they started playing it again. And so I was greatly inspired. I have to say, my friend Geraldo, he said to me, Howard, my family was probably Jews, because Jews were named after trees, just like Mr. Tannenbaum in Germany, Mr. Olive Tree, de Oliveira. He said, they probably were Jews. And my closest harmonica buddy in Brazil, named Flavio Guimarães, he brought me down there several times. He was like the main blues harmonica player in South America. He introduced blues harmonica down there. Now, harmonica is extremely popular in South America, and there were tons of Germans there. There was even a harmonica factory in southern Brazil called Hering. And these people played a lot of chromatic, and they played tangos, the Argentinians, and jazz. But Chicago blues, it took a while to get there. So Flavio's the one who brought it there. And I was down there one time, and it was a friend of mine who was there from America, and he looked at us and went, you guys look like you could be cousins. And because he's real tall, he's even taller than I am. And we just always hit it off, So, and Flavio looks at me and goes, "Well, my family, we were new Christians," which means they converted during the Inquisition in Portugal. That's how the Jews would get off the hook; they'd convert. Wow. And but many of them were still persecuted, and so that's why so many of them fled to the New World, where things were much looser.
Wow.
The same with my friend Alejo Poveda, the drummer in Chevere from Costa Rica. It turns out that his family were Spanish Jews, and the Spanish government has offered citizenship to any Jews who could prove that they were their families were living in Spain at the time of the Inquisition. They wanted more Jews to move back to Spain.
Wow. Oh,
Isn't that a trip?
That is. Wow.
These things that you learn. And Alejo had no idea, because even in his family name, there was it was De la Trinidad was part of it, the Holy Trinity. So you just never know, man. So, and I wrote a tune of my own based on hearing this music, and I just called it Chorinho, and it's on my Tonight and Tomorrow CD on Chicago Sessions. So. So I should tell you a little story that happened to me in Israel. This was really, really crazy. I had played in Dublin and Glasgow with the Flecktones. We flew over there, played these gigs, totally different gigs, with different people, collaborating with all sorts of Scottish and Irish musicians. And at 3 a.m, we took a car ride from Glasgow to Edinburgh and flew to Tel Aviv through some other city. I mean, I'm in a daze thinking about it. And then got on a bus and drove across the desert to Eilat, where we were going to play at the Red Sea Jazz Festival.
Oh, man.
And so, I mean, totally exhausted. I'm tired just thinking about it. We had sound check the next morning at like 10 o'clock. I mean, I didn't know what time it was. I didn't know if it was day or night. And somehow I started thinking about Brazil. I don't know why. There I am in Eilat, and I could see Saudi Arabia out one window and Israel at another place. And then what else do you look at there? I can't remember. It's Jordan, Israel, and Saudi Arabia, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think.
I can't remember anymore. Egypt, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about Brazilian music for some reason. I started thinking about Choro. I started emailing my Brazilian friends. Hey, I'm in Eilat, man. I'm thinking about you guys, like blah, 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 blah. I opened up my window and I started hearing Choro music playing. And I thought, okay, this is really weird. Like somebody's playing the music I'm thinking about on the PA system in the hotel on the patio down there. And I lean out the window and I look, it's a band. And they're playing Noites Karaokes.
No way.
I went, this is impossible. Are there Brazilians here, like playing this stuff? I walked down, I brought some harmonicas. It turns out there was a Brazilian guy and a bunch of Israelis, and they're a band called Choro. It's an Israeli Choro band. And I said, can I sit in? They said, you know this music? I said, yeah. Which one do you want to play?
Wow.
So yeah, that's about the least probable thing that I can even think of happening to me of being a wandering Jew, running into music written by a Brazilian Jew in Israel on tour with the Flecktones. It just boggles the mind, but it really did happen.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and hope that you'll join us back here next week. As a nonprofit, we can only afford to put on great programming like this thanks to your support. Please visit narananaarts.org for more information and to learn how to get involved.